September the 5th, Genesis chapter 22, verses 1 to 19. Sometime after these events, God put Abraham to the test. He called him, "Abraham." "Ready," he replied. Then God said, "Take your son Isaac, your only one, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. There you shall offer him up as a holocaust on a height that I will point out to you." Early the next morning, Abraham saddled his donkey, took with him his son Isaac, the two of his servants as well, and with the wood that he had cut for the holocaust, set out for the place which God had told him. On the third day, Abraham got sight of the place from afar. Then he said to his servants, "Both of you stay here with the donkey, while the boy and I go over yonder. We will worship and then come back to you." Thereupon Abraham took the wood for the holocaust and laid it on his son Isaac's shoulders, while he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two walked on together, Isaac spoke to his father Abraham. "Father," he said. "Yes, son," he replied. Isaac continued, "Here are the fire and the wood, but where is the sheep for the holocaust?" "Son," Abraham replied, "God himself will provide the sheep for the holocaust." And the two continued going forward. When they came to the place which God had told them, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. Next, he tied up his son Isaac and put him on top of the wood on the altar. Then he reached out and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the Lord's messenger called to him from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham." "Yes, Lord," he answered. "Do not do the least thing to him. I know now how devoted you are to God, since you did not withhold me from your very own beloved son." As Abraham looked about, he spied a ram caught by its horns in the thicket. So he went and took the ram and offered it up as a holocaust in place of his son. Abraham named the place Yahweh-Yireh. Hence people say now, "On the mountain the Lord will see." God asked of Abraham the unthinkable. First, he promised to give him as many children as sand on the seashore. Then he asked Abraham to sacrifice his son, Isaac. Abraham yet again showed himself totally obedient, and he was willing to give in to God's request. At that moment he became, as we know him today, Abraham, our father in faith. Joseph could follow the path of Jesus, as he experienced how his son went out of the house at the age of 30. He taught him the ways of his people and became an example of faith and love. He was the one Jesus called Abba, Daddy. And with this experience, he called God his Abba. Now Joseph had to let him go. He had no control over him. He surrendered him to the will of God after he had done what the angel Gabriel asked of him, to take care of Mary and the child.